revision about what we had earlier discussed about until your friends come. Our lesson was about the social structure. Okay, what do I mean by a social structure? Social structure simply consists of two items. Okay, two main things. Let me adjust this one a little bit. Two items, guys. The social structure consists of statuses and roles. Okay, keep in your mind that at any given time you occupy a status, but you play a role. In order to be specific, you occupy multiple statuses, not only one, at any given time in your life. So you occupy a status in order to fulfill this status, you have to play a specific role. The statuses are two kinds, ascribed or achieved. The ascribed statuses are simply given to you by birth without any effort, like your gender, your race, your age, and so on. So the ascribed statuses were given to you without any effort. On the other hand, the achieved ones, you have to work in order to achieve them. You have to spend some effort in order to achieve them, in order to acquire them. A doctor, a teacher, or even a student, you have to work for them. So this is the main difference between the achieved and the ascribed statuses. The ascribed were given to you, while the achieved, you have to work in order to achieve them. In order to fulfill any social status, you have to play your role. And the roles, we have the model role, we have the expectations, we have the society expects you to behave in a certain way, in a specific way. Like, for example, to be a student, you have to wake up early, to go to school, to do your homework, and so on. So these are the expectations of this role. But in the real life, we have the actual roles. We have the role performance. Okay, so for example, some doctors maybe are not treating their patients with the best possible care. Some students are not going to school, for example. Some students are not studying. This is the real world. So, two statuses and two roles. Statuses and roles will simply form the social structure. Until now, do you have any questions? As you know, you can simply interrupt me at any given time and ask me your question. Because if there is no response, that's gonna mean that everything is clear to you. And I can ask, and your response will be evaluated. Is it clear, guys? So
Yes.
what do you think I'm gonna do? Repeat, wait, ask, continue, what? Continue?
Continuous.
Okay. So the status, guys, is simply a socially defined position in a group or even in the society. How I'm gonna identify you, your position in the society. It depends on your social status. Okay? At any given time, every single one of us holds multiple statuses. Okay, like yourself, you can be a student, you can be a son, you can be a football player, you can be a gamer, you can be a YouTuber, you can be even a grandson. So this means that at any given time you are holding multiple social statuses. Okay, so if I want to choose one as an identifier, if I want to use a unique one to identify you at a certain given time, which one I'm going to choose? Randomly choose anyone? Or I can choose the one that I like? Or what do you think? What's the criteria here?
It depends, Master, on what you're asking for.
الماستر سبيس ستيتس.
The master status. In fact, Mustafa, the greatest role in your life at that time will be your master status. For example, let's talk about Mustafa. He is a son, he is a brother, he is a football player, he is a gamer, he is a driver if he has a driving license, and he is a grandson, he is a student, and so on. So, which one is the greatest role in his life right now? If I am asking the question about the current time, it will be, of course, the greatest role will be a student.
Student, yeah.
Of course, he's gonna be a student. So the master status is the greatest role in sharpening a person's life. And this master status, keep it in your mind. The master status can be ascribed or even achieved. There is no problem. Like to have the royal title, like to have the title of a prince. Of course, if you have this one to be a member of the royal family, this is ascribed status. And this gonna be your master status for all of your life. This is ascribed one. While to be a student, this is achieved status. So there is no problem. The master status can be either ascribed or achieved. Okay, questions?
Yeah.
Let's continue. Let's go on. Any given person can hold multiple social statuses. Okay, and these social statuses can be ascribed or achieved. Example for the achieved ones to be a friend, worker, student, team player, team member, or a classmate. Examples for the ascribed statuses: daughter, sister, female, 17 years old, and African American. So the ascribed ones were given to you without any effort. Your age, your gender, and so on. While the achieved one, you have to work in order to achieve them. So this gonna mean that in order to fulfill your social status, you have to play your role in the society. So the role is the behavior expected of someone occupying or holding a particular status. You occupy a status, but you play a role. Some roles in the society requires a partner. You cannot hold the role of a husband, for example, without a wife, of course. You cannot hold the social status of a teacher without a student, doctor, patient, lawyer, and his defender, for example, or whatever. Of course, he needs someone to defend him. Like, for example, let me think here, like an athlete, of course, he needs a coach, and so on. So some roles in the society requires partners, and these roles, we're gonna call them reciprocal roles, defines pattern of interaction between related social statuses. The society expects us to behave in a certain way. This will be the role expectations are the socially determined behavior expected of a person performing such a role. But in the real world, not all of the people will follow the model role. Will simply we have the actual roles or the role performance does not always match the behavior expected by the society. So until now, I think we have reached what we have earlier discussed about. So this gonna mean, let's have a look here. At any given time, guys, every single one of us holds multiple social statuses. So this is gonna mean that these statuses will interact with each other will interfere with each other? Do you think so? Or every single social status is working by himself?
Working by himself يا مستر.
Sorry?
Work every status is working by himself.
Every status is working on its own.
Yeah.
طيب. Keep in your mind, Mustafa, in order to fulfill the role of a son, for example, of course, there are some responsibilities. And also, you have the role of student. So, in order to fulfill the role of a good son, you have to spend some time with your family. And in order to be a good student, you have to study a lot. So, which one are you going to choose? To spend some time with your family or to spend your time in studying? In fact, Mustafa, all of these
They
social
are interfering.
statuses, yes, they are interacting together. Okay? Of course, because we are talking about a single human being. Okay? And for every social status, there is a group of roles. Like, for example, let's take this one. To be a student, for example, of course, this social status will come with multiple responsibilities, will come with multiple roles, like to wake up early every single day, to go to school, to do your homework, to get a high score, and so on. So we're gonna call this group of roles, we're gonna call them group set. So the group set is simply the role set, sorry, not the group set. The role set will simply mean it's a group of roles associated with a single status. Okay? As the result of this interaction, yes, yes, what do you want to say?
لا nothing مستر.
Okay, as this interaction, there will be some kind of a conflict. This gonna mean that in order to fulfill one of the roles, you must neglect or ignore the other. Let me show you an example here.
Mr.
Yes.
Mr. Like in the first session, we were talking about personality and that change or not. So I mean, if when you're processing social status, so you have more responsibilities. So I guess the personality changes or adapt to fulfill these responsibilities. Am I right?
In fact, Ahmed, we are talking about the same personality, okay? And the personality will keep on developing. Wait, be patient until we discuss our title about personality. We have a whole title, complete lesson about personality. So leave the personality for now. We are talking about human beings in general, okay? So let's have a look here. Here is our friend. She is a team member, a student, and a granddaughter. So we are talking about, of course, she has multiple social statuses, like the slide that I had showed you earlier. She holds more than 10 social statuses, okay? But here we're gonna talk about only three. One of the roles to be a granddaughter will be to visit her grandmother. A social status of a student, she has the role of completing her homework, and she holds another social status to be a team member. She had to attend the practice on regular basis. Okay, and we are talking about a certain moment of time here, a certain time. So at the same time, she cannot fulfill all of these roles. We are not talking about which one is right and which one is wrong, what she's supposed to do. This is not our issue here. But my main point that at any given time, these social statuses will interact together. And the result of this interaction will lead to something, will lead to role conflict. What do I mean by a role conflict? That in order to fulfill one of these roles, the other two you should neglect. Like, for example, you're gonna waste some time in order to visit your grandmother. So that's gonna mean you have no time to complete your homework, neither You had time to attend your practice. So fulfill what? Sorry.
Mr. Like we could compromise and just make timetables to fulfill all
Yes,
three at once.
yes, to organize your life. There's no problem. But my issue here, my point here, that طب let me tell you another example. Okay.
Okay.
A social status of a good parent. A good parent must take care of his sick child, for example. At
Okay.
the same time, he is a good worker, a good employee. So in order to be a good employee, you have to go to work every single day. So we have one day. What do you think the person will do? Either to go to work in order to be a good employee or to stay at home in order to be a good parent, to take good care of his sick child. So what I mean here that you have to decide, you have to choose either to go to work or to stay at home. It's not
No,
about
Mr.
organ. It's
Mr. The work is not 24 hours. Neither staying with the child or the child will keep him not sick for 24 hours.
what's my point of view here, Ahmed, is simply a situation. Imagine a situation that you have, of course, you can't be at two different places at the same time, right? In order to fulfill
Yes,
one
sir.
of the roles, in order to fulfill one of the roles, you must leave the other. I'm not telling you, I'm not telling you guys what's right and what's wrong. I'm not telling you what to do in your lives. It's up to you to decide. No problem. It's your personal life. But my point of view here that if you have multiple responsibilities, if you have lot of responsibilities, you cannot fulfill all of them at the same time. In order to do one, in order to fulfill one, you must leave or neglect the others. This is the role conflict in general. You have to leave one of the roles in order to fulfill the others. This is the conflict. On
Mr.
the
Amin
other,
at the moment, right?
yes, at the same time,
Okay. Sorry.
okay?
I misunderstood you.
On the other hand, you can fulfill all of the roles together. Like to be an athlete, okay? You want to be the best one on the team. And at the same time, you do not want to make your teammates look bad. Because maybe while playing football, for example, in order to prove to the others that you are the best player in the world, you can simply try to be selfish a little bit to play with your own. You are not playing with a team. You will simply get the ball and do everything by yourself until you have the chance to score a goal. So you want to prove to everyone who's watching that you are the best player. So you think that you're going to prove to them that you are the best player. And at the same time, you have proved to them that your teammates are bad. They are not worthy enough to participate in this game. You can do everything by yourself. This is one of the conditions, but it's not our issue here in role strain. In role strain, you can fulfill all of the roles together. So she want to be the best on the team, and at the same time, she do not want to make her teammates look bad. Another example, if this one is not clear to you, let's imagine that a boss, a manager, he had a specific certain deadline to deliver the work, to deliver the job. But in order to deliver the job at before the deadline, the workers must work for extra hours. Okay? So in order to be a good boss, he will simply try to raise the morals of the workers. while keeping them working for extra hours. So he can fulfill the two roles at the same time. He can simply, let's think about raising the morals. He can play for them some music while working. He can simply give them some extra payment as a kind of encouragement. We have a lot of examples, but you can do the two roles at the same time. This will be the role strain. While on the other hand, the role conflict, in order to fulfill one of the roles, you must leave or neglect the others. Like, for example, if one of your friends asks you to go out for a meal, for example, and you have some homework you must do, what are you gonna choose? It's up to you to decide. I have no problem about this decision. But what I mean that in order to fulfill one of the roles, to be a good friend, for example, you must leave or neglect the roles of a student to be a good student, to do your homework on time. So is it clear for you guys the difference between the role conflict and the role strain?
Yes, Mr.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Clear, Mr.
And remember that we have something called role set. So the role set, it's simply a group of roles associated with a social status. So, for example, the role set for a student will be to wake up early, to go to school, to do your homework, and so on. Okay? Like we said, your master status nowadays, the meanwhile, is a student. So all of your life, you will be a student. You will hold this master status of a student.
Of course not.
Of course not. At a certain time, your relationship with studying, with education, will be done. No more studying. You will go to start your career. So this gonna be role exit. When your relationship with your master status is done. Okay? When we detach from a role. For example, if you are holding the social status of a mother, okay, and you have lost custody of your children, you will not hold the social status of a mother anymore. Divorced people, they will not get the social status of husband or even wife because the relationship with this social status is over. Okay, convicts, after spending some time over there in jail, of course, the relationship with being a convict, it's done. Got the issue? So role exit when you detach from a certain or a specific role. Is it clear until now?
Clear.
Okay. What's the benefit of talking about social statuses and different roles in the society? What's the benefit? What do you think we can get? Theoretically talking, if every single human being in the society will simply fulfill the acquired roles of the social statuses he is holding, he will perform the social institution. The most universal social institution in the world is the family. Okay, so you are holding multiple social statuses. And of course, the requirements comes from these social status to fulfill you. After doing this job, to fulfill the roles of the social statuses you are holding, you can simply establish a social institution. And the social institutions is the core of the society. 5 examples of social institutions. We have the family, of course, and of course, the job or the roles of the family is simply to take good care of the children. And we have the economic institution. What do you think the economic institution will be? Do not tell me the Ministry of Commerce.
Thanks.
What's the economic institution, guys?
مستر يعني الفلوس اللي أقدر أجيبها واللي معايا دلوقتي.
The economic institution, in fact, will be the production, distribution, and consumption of goods in the society. This will be the economic institution. Remember, while talking about economics at the very beginning as a branch of the social sciences, the production, distribution, and consumption of goods in the society. This will be the economic institution. The political one, the political institution. The political institution is simply responsible for enforcing the law in the society to make sure that all, please, if you're not using your mic, mute it, to make sure of the enforcement of the law in the society. Education. By education, I do not mean schools or even universities. By education, I mean the transmission of values and beliefs from one generation to another. The transmission of the human culture through different generations. This is education. And also religion. Religion can be considered as shared beliefs and values among the people. Keep in your mind, these institutions are not physical structures. You cannot visit a social institution. It's a structure, not a place. It's not a physical place. It's a structure in the society. One of the foundations of the society, not a physical place that you can visit. Now I can tell you that we are done with our lesson. If you have any question, this is your chance. If not, I can start asking. Amra Hatem, why you are on hold? Amra Hatem.
هو يا مستر في كل تاني لما بيكلم على حد مثلا بيكلم في التليفون فبيبقى هولد.
Okay. So guys, do you have any questions? Any comments? Anything I can start asking?
Thank you.
Okay. We
can
have
اتفضل يا مستر جارد.
4 minutes of questions. عمرو زكي. عمرو زكي. عمرو زكي أحمد عطية. عمرو زكي. عمرو زكي. A call for Amro Zaki. Where are you, Amro Zaki? There's no Amro Zaki. By the way, I'm gonna call your name 3 times. If there is no response, you are absent. Even though you are sitting here in this session, I think Amro Zaki is typing for me
Mr.
something.
Sahad in the chat.
Eh? Sorry?
He typed the chat. He typed in the chat.
Okay. If I ask Mazen Tariq.
مستر أيوة مع حضرتك تسألني كل مرة وبركز مع حضرتك يعني.
Good for you. You're lucky. Mazen, if you are holding a social status of a doctor, this gonna be ascribed or achieved status?
I don't know مستر ما كنتش مركز.
Why Mazen? I'm disappointed. Try to think. This was about
Can you
our
repeat again طيب?
previous lesson yesterday, Mazen. To be a doctor, to hold the social status of a doctor or even a student, this gonna be ascribed status or achieved one?
Achieved.
Thank you very much. Is it hard?
No. أنا ما كنتش مركز في السؤال نفسه، معلش.
Okay. محمد أسامة. أسامة. محمد أسامة. علي أشرف. عفيفي.
Yes, mister.
Yes, Sally. Can you please tell me what's a master status?
A master status is the highest status that a person holds in society.
The greatest role in shaping a person's status. Okay, if you want to be asked, raise your hand. Or should I randomly choose? Okay. عمر خالد. عمر خالد ناجي.
Yes, mister.
What's the role set?
The rule what?
Set. What's the role set?
No.
Think. Try to think. Role set.
Can you
Set.
put it in an example?
Set means a group, right? So a
Oh,
group
yeah.
of roles. A group of roles. Huh.
Like being a student and a granddaughter and so if you want to be a good granddaughter, you need to visit your grandparents, and if you want to be a good student. صح ولا غلط؟ Yes or no?
كان في الاول
No،
صح
ماشي.
لا تيجي بس في الاخر.
Yes.
إيه؟
Look, Omar. It's a group. Okay. Set. Role set. It's a group of roles associated with a single social status. Like to be a student. Okay. To be a student. So this is gonna mean in order to fulfill the roles of a student, you have multiple roles or only one role. You have, of course, multiple roles. These
Yes.
multiple roles are the group set. So a group set, it's simply a group of roles associated with a single social status. Thank you very much, guys. Until